Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining. My name is Caitlin Cordani. I'm an executive leader here at Archer Travel, and today we're going to learn how to create a presentation for your clients. Hold on, let me admit one more person and turn off this way right here. Hi, Ron. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Today we're using Adobe Express. Adobe Express is just like Canva, just through the Adobe Acrobat Pro bundle that I purchased. So today we're going to kind of explore Adobe Express and what it looks like for the presentation. And then I'm going to use some photos from a trip that I just booked last week to explain to you guys how to pretty much use this. And then next week, I'm going to break down how I build my clients' presentations. And then the third week after that, we're going to assemble the presentation. So this is Adobe Express. And let me open the chat box here. Okay. So what we want to do is create a presentation. So you've got all of these different things that you can do, right? So let's go ahead and view all of this for a second. So these are standard and suggested. You could do custom sizes, square, landscape, portrait. These are blank, not templates at all. These are starting the specific measurements for each social media platform or a logo, maybe a flyer. These flyers and posters can also be printed right from Adobe Express and shipped out for you. Presentation is what we're going to be working in, but you can also build a business card, a brochure, a website, videos, Instagram stories, things like that. But you can also see there's different categories here for social media. So you could build a Facebook cover page, story, profile, cover, Facebook post, ads, things like that. And then videos as well, media, mobile videos, and also YouTube videos. And then you have photos, so you could do a photo album, a book cover, calendar, desktop wallpaper, LinkedIn profile, cover, ID card, things like that. I did use this logo builder to find my logo template. And then you can also create documents as well, guys. So brochure, business cards, just regular cards, certificates, cover page, divider pages, things like that. And then you can also print directly, like I mentioned. So for your business cards, they also have templates. So we're going to kind of explore the templates today. So let's go down to presentation. This is making the presentation size for a PowerPoint, guys. So for Adobe, for Adobe Acrobat, you can save this to make a specific PowerPoint or save it as a PNG file. PNG is for high quality pictures. And then you'll be able to paste the picture or insert the picture into a presentation, which we'll explore on part 3. So these are templates. At the side on the left, you'll have different options to be able to look through. This is a paid version. This is a free version. Okay. So we have multiple pages in these templates because it's a presentation. So we need multiple pages, right? So what we're going to do is go ahead and go through. I like to look for specifics for my presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and, I've already searched for travel in the past. So we're going to go ahead and just look for that. I actually like to narrow it down a little more sometimes. So we're going to do that too. And then you also can filter these. So I'm going to filter these to the premium version so that you guys can see all the different versions that you get when you pay for this. I'm not pushing this product, guys. This is just how I paid for it. I paid for it with the bundle for me to use Adobe Acrobat, and this just came with it. And I was like, well, let's explore it. So I did. So here we go. I like this one, but let's take a look here. that's kind of busy. I really don't like how the background is crinkled up paper. This doesn't fit to what I really want to do. This is really cute though. If this is kind of your style, definitely go through and do that. But we're gonna go ahead and not do this one. So um let's pick a different one instead. I'm more clean cut, but I really like fun patterns like this. So we're gonna look at this one and try it out. So I'm just looking at the templates, guys. This is not a selection until you start to actually like click on it and start editing things, then it takes you to that option. But right now we're just looking at templates. So I really like this one. It's cute. It's fun. It's, you know, it looks like an underwater ocean theme. So it has 5 pages already constructed for you. That's perfect. My presentations are pretty long because I'm providing to my clients multiple options for their presentation, including quotes. So let me give you an example. We're going to go back. This is the home page. I'm going to go back to my stuff real quick. This is a presentation that I did for my clients. They're going to Hawaii. I just booked this trip. So you'll be able to see, sorry guys, let's start from the beginning. You'll be able to see this is a picture that I attached, but this I made a template for. Okay. So this is just adding text and selecting a font and size and then just spacing. And then, you know, these are pictures that I put together for these this presentation. And then you can split the page. It's really fun. These are a background for it, so you can see something very similar to what I was looking at already. Okay. And then they're going to Oahu and Maui. So I gave them an overview of what the island is supposed to look like. And then here's a page for one hotel room, and then, you know, the overview of the room and the resort and then the room and things like that. So this is how I like to put my presentations together. So let's go back to what we were just working on here. So, oh, it looks like it started me over here. So let's go back to presentation. Because we didn't start anything on the template specifically, it's not going to save anything, right? We need to make sure that we start the editing for it. So I'm just going to use this for an example. All right. So this is a cover title. I love that. And then this has more pictures or pages to it. So I really like the cleanness, the contents of it. The background color could be changed, so you could change it to white. It has a texture to it. So you'll be able to you know, introduce different colors with the texture. I really like this color. I don't know too much about this pink, but if I wanted to, I can use this to create a different color. Boom. Or create a custom color and just kind of use it as a slide, which is really cool. Okay. And then so now we've started editing this. So you're able to go through and, you know, change the color, or so when you're working with layers, they're on the left, I mean, sorry, they're on the right. So what you want to do is select the top one, which is the first one, and it'll take you to whatever that is. So this is the author. So when you type into it, it's similar to Canva. You just type in, you know, my name is Caitlin Cordani. And then let's say I want to change this quote, right? So bless you. So let's see here. So travel is Everyone deserves. Boom. Okay. This is a quote. So this is a line. This is something that you can duplicate. Okay, so you see how it made a second line. We can move this around, change its you know, angle. There we go. And then, put it where we want it. So the pink line is showing me that it's center to the box right here, and also on the same line at the end of this one. So now it's spaced properly. Hi, Phyllis. We're learning how to create a presentation for your client. This is part 1. So what we're doing is exploring Adobe Express, because not everybody knows what this is or how to use it. It's pretty much similar to Canva. But I don't know how to use Canva. I use Adobe Express. So I'm just exploring this platform with you guys. And then in part 2, we're going to construct a presentation. And then part 3, we're going to assemble it. So it's a couple of parts here that are moving. I can't fit this whole presentation into one recording.
I understand. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so these are just different layers. This is page 4. You don't have to have the pages. I don't ever put pages, but you could also do like your business name. So mine is Bon Viaggio Booking. That makes me dizzy looking at it like that. But you can also move this stuff around, guys. Do spacing. Boom, there you go. And then this is the texture, guys. So when I'm talking about texture, I'm talking about like a background picture. So to replace that, you come up here to this image box. You can remove the background if you have like a picture with people and you want to remove the background of the people, you could do that. We also have an erase feature. I don't really like this feature.
Adobe Express.
Sorry, guys. I don't really like this feature. I don't use it very often because I'm terrible at it. I also remove things that don't need to be removed, so I just don't play with that. But you can remove objects from the background too. So let's say you want to remove people from the background and leave the background as like a scenic view. You could do that. No, it's okay, Joanne, not to worry. I get distracted very easily, so don't worry about that. You can also insert objects as well, but we're going to look at replacing the background here. So I have a brand set up for this option, which is an upgrade. So it has my brand colors, it has my brand logo, I'm able to select things like templates from my brand, and then I have libraries, photos, videos, design assets, and backgrounds. What I'm looking at is design assets and backgrounds, because that's going to be the main image provider that I have here on Adobe. So I'm going to go to backgrounds. Sorry, you can go to design assets, which are icons and things like this. So you'll be able to look at what you want to include in the picture. So I like this cruise here. Ooh, that's huge. So let's go ahead and click on it and then make it small, right? So we can move it down. Okay, so I like it here. Let's see. Okay, so you can see the pink line is aligned with the side and the center. So that's good. And then I don't like this quote. It's a picture. You can always remove it. Okay, so there's a delete button, or you can duplicate it. So I'm going to delete this so that it's more of a background focused on the cruise ship. Okay, so let's move this up here this way. This way you've got everything that you need, and then, you know, boom, you've created a page and customized it. So I like to use templates that have pictures included because these are individualized pictures that I can replace. So I'm going to upload from my device. Actually, I'm just going to use pictures from the photo gallery for examples for this training purpose. Okay. So I'm going to enter this one and I'm going to do the same here. So if you don't like the placement of a picture, you guys can double click on it and then move it to align with the box that it's sitting in. But let's say you like it the way it was, how it was templated. You can just click out of it and you can still see the background and its individual box. Okay. This is an element that you can create with shapes. No, yes. Did they move it? No, they did. They moved it to charts and grids. So grids is going to be your photo gallery. So this is where this is what they selected for us. It's just a 4-page or a 4-square 1, 2, 3. Here it is right here. So that's how they created this table. And so we're going to go ahead and replace this here. You also have a menu where you can select replace, and then it'll pull up these options. So we're going to do travel, vacation. Okay. And then let's do this beach. And then we're going to do this airplane. And then we're going to replace this with let's do that. Excellent. I don't like this placement, so I'm going to pull it down a little. Boom. Perfect. So now we have a woman standing on the beach in crystal clear waters and white sandy beaches, and then you're going to have seating under a palm tree, flights, and a vacation monies to do it. And this is signifying that you know, this is a vacation, right? So just pretend that this is part of the presentation, for example. But I don't like this background color, guys. It is clashy against these colors. So what I want to do is take this background dropper, and I'm going to go ahead and use something like this for the blue. Or maybe I'm going to come back and do the sand. Or I like to take colors that are brighter than, you know, what's really saturated in the pictures to kind of make them pop. So let's do this yellow. I like this yellow. Ew, no, I don't. Okay, I like this yellow better. So I like that, but I don't like this texture. So what I'm going to do is select it and then delete it. But it kept the pictures and it kept the background color and all of the other layers, right? So I don't like this, how it's sideways like that, but I also want to make sure that it's cohesive with my brand. So I'm just going to go back to the page before it and copy this. So I just press Control-C on my keyboard, and then I'm going to delete this and then press Control-V on the page. And there you have it. It placed it exactly where it was on the page before, so it can be cohesive with the other page. And then this, I don't like the spacing between the 5 and my brand name, so we're gonna just move it. Okay, but look, it gave me measurements to make sure that the spacings are even between the brand names and the page numbers. Did you guys see that? We're going to do that again over here. See the spacing? It's really close here and really far away here. So I'm just going to move this line. Okay, so you see the dots on the line are selected. I'm gonna touch the lines, and then I'm gonna wait for the line to be with center with the words and evenly spaced between the words and the numbers at the bottom. Boom. Now you have an evenly spaced line between the brand of your brand name and the page number. Do you have any questions so far about what I've done specifically? Just want to make sure everybody is following along. Excellent. All right. So now that, perfect. Okay. So now that we have an understanding of like how to customize a page with a template, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create text. So let's say I don't want this. I'm just going to delete it. And this too. Okay, but I like the texture. I like this page number, but I don't like this line or the words. I want it to be even on the other two pages, right? So I'm going to delete these. I just press delete on my keyboard. I'm going to go back to the page before. I'm going to click on the words. I'm going to press shift on my keyboard. Click on the line. And then now you have this button. It's called group. Okay. You're going to group these two together. This way, when you copy it, it copies both of them exactly where they're placed on the page. So I have to click out of it and then click it so it's one single box, and then Control C. We're gonna go to the next page, click on the page, and then Control V. Okay, but it did kind of make the placement off center from the 6. So we are going to center that with the 6. And then you can ungroup this also to make sure that the line and the page number, whoops, are evenly spaced. See? So that's perfect. Awesome.
Hey, I got a
Now,
question for you.
absolutely.
Okay, so if you go back one slide, or it doesn't matter on this one as well.
Sure.
I was thinking like you have your yellow border.
Uh-huh.
How would you put in a black frame around the outside of that yellow?
So the black frame would be a square. Okay. So let me
So,
show you that.
yeah.
So on this side, you go to elements, and then you see there's shapes right here. Shapes.
Hmm.
You would search square.
But this is more oblong. It doesn't matter, I guess, right? Just square.
Square. So it could also be rectangle.
Okay.
Okay, so now we have a rectangle, but it has a background. Okay, so let's go ahead and
Now this is what I wonder. I've used Express before, but this is what I was wondering about. See where you captured the yellow out of the picture? Can you capture the yellow and put it in the background of this new frame that you just put in, or would that overfill your pictures?
no, you can definitely do that. So
Okay,
um you would fill in the background with the same color, right?
right.
Adjust it to the size of the page.
Okay.
Ooh.
So this is what I'm wondering. I run into that too. So you have to create the frame with the box before you put the pictures in.
It does look like it. What you could
Uh-huh.
is take some lines. So let's do some lines.
Because it's building up from the foundation.
Yep.
So the frame would be the very, very back, and then you're adding things onto it. I can't get that to work.
So I would just use lines
Oh,
and then
and
duplicate.
you can make the lines, yeah, and you can make the lines thicker. Can you draw the line? Oh, you just have to put them in top, bottom, side, side. And then how do you make it bigger down there?
Um, so the
Because I
line
would, I,
thickness would be based right here, border thickness.
okay,
So
so,
I have to find that one. Hold on a second. Here.
okay,
So you see this is a thicker border.
Okay.
what we had already.
Okay. Maybe not quite that thick.
Right. So that's because I
Okay,
adjust.
there we go. Okay, maybe a little bit bigger, but yeah.
Okay, so I adjusted to 15 for the border thickness, right?
Uh-huh.
I have it a thick
Okay.
border. So I can also do the same thing for each border. Now the
Okay.
thickness that I like, right? So it's just about playing with the features on the side. So um you can definitely see
Okay. Yeah.
bigger, and then you can duplicate it and adjust it so that you can find it, because it always pushes it to the side.
Okay.
So I'm just adjusting this on that, and so now you have a border.
Okay.
You
Okay.
created this. So if you don't want these borders to be on top, or you want to layer them, you can layer them on the bottom. This way it wouldn't look so predominant on the page itself. It kind of
Uh-huh.
is them backwards a little. Um,
Okay.
that way you'll be able to see how less predominant the lines look on the
Right.
page specifically.
Now, in the pictures that you dragged and dropped over there, can those be changed from oblong to maybe oval?
Yeah. So this is a reframe. So we have to reframe this.
Uh-huh.
So oh sorry. Nope. Let's not do that. Okay, so we need to go to charts and grids, and then oh maybe it doesn't look like we can. Let's do charts here. Nope. Let me see. Do all charts. You know what? This is like a chart for data.
Yeah, those are data charts.
So for the templates, if you search oval frames, you'll be able to find something that has oval
Okay.
thing inside of it like this.
Okay. And you just drag and drop in place.
Yeah, so you also have the option to upload from your device specifically. So next week when sorry, on the second, later on this week, when I've done some research for like a mock booking and I'm putting together a presentation for it, I want to show you guys how I construct my bookings presentations so that you guys can have an idea looking at actual pictures and how I build them.
Okay,
But
thank you.
absolutely. But to answer your question, these templates, it looks like they're only square or rectangular.
Yeah, that's what I've experienced too.
Um,
Maybe I'm still playing around with it. Maybe there's some area that allows you to, but I've just not found it yet. It has so many features. It's amazing.
Yes, I learned something new about Adobe Express every day. I've been using this since the start in April. So I definitely see, how there's a lot of different features that could become very overwhelming for people. But just keep playing with it. You'll definitely get a feel for it, learn exactly, what it is that you like about it. You'll find, templates that you prefer over templates that you don't. And then, you know, you'll fonts for your business. I have like over 100 different fonts that I use for things that
Okay.
and stuff like
How
that.
would you change the border to like see the brown that's in the chair or in the passport? How would you change the black line to brown now?
Okay, so you select the border, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you click on this color. This is for the specific color. And then you click on this dropper right here. This is
Uh-huh.
the custom color. And then you just hover over the color you want to fill it for. And then you can So now you have a line that's a different color than the black. So what you can do is take this hex number and copy it, Control C, and then click
Uh-huh.
on each border, and then go into custom, and then paste that hex number and
Uh-huh.
enter, and it should bring you to the exact color of that next border line. And so then
Oh,
just do the same thing for each line,
okay.
and then
Yeah.
it works just like that. And that way
Oh, okay.
you're using color from the pictures that are on the page, and it looks cohesive and draws in. And you can also do the same thing for the font too. So this is grouped, so you can't do this in like a singular grouping, but you don't
Mhm.
have to ungroup it to select the font. So what you do is just click on the font specifically, so it's like a double click, and then you do the same thing with the fill. On this side, you go to custom, and then you enter the hex, and then boom, now that font matches the border. And
How would you bold that?
okay, so the text, what you would do is go over here. This is the text that they've selected, and it's a premium
Okay.
font, right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So what you do, you have different options. Most premium fonts have multiple options, like for fonts texture, for like italicized, medium, bold, thin, very, you know, I think I can't think of the word that I'm looking for. Very light. Light is a word that they use a lot. So you can definitely see this one has 5 different options. So I have bold, and then bold italicize. And so it makes it an italics. Or you can do a medium, which is also a similar to a bold, but it's not so bold on the page. So it's a highlight, but it's not like a boom out in your face type of deal.
Uh-huh.
And then you have the just regular italics, and then the Roman, which is a different type of font than the regular. Um, it looks like the Roman is the original. So you'll see the selection at the top, and then more in this family, and then you'll have the selections for the families. And if you don't have this fonts already downloaded to your cloud, a notification will pop up at the bottom of the screen that'll let you know that the Cloud Creative has downloaded that font, and now you have all of the font options too.
Okay.
So you can do the same thing for this line here. So I'm gonna change its color, and then this is set to 1. I'm gonna change it to 5 just to make it a little more bold on the page. And
Uh-huh.
then I'm also gonna do the color for the number as well. And now everything looks cohesive, is strong and dominant on the page, outlining the pictures. And then if you wanted to do the picture outlines, you can definitely do the same thing with the lines.
Mhm.
These purple ones are indicating, the solid are indicating that this is the picture that, sorry, the picture that you've selected. And then the dotted lines is indicating the entire grid that you have. Hold on a second. Sorry, guys, I had somebody at my door. All right. So the dotted lines indicate that you're selecting all 4 pictures in the grid. But I don't have anything selected on the page. So you're not going to see any purple lines until I hover over it. And then now you have the option to adjust. So you could adjust, make them smaller, space them so that they match the line spacing. So you have more of a background. You can even individualize them so that there's more spacing, less spacing,
Mm,
you know, off center them. It's a lot of fun once you get to
yeah.
playing with it. It's a lot of fun.
What would it look like if you roughed up the frame, the out frame? You know how it has gives you those two other choices
What other choices
on your frame right over here. Yeah,
on the
those.
left?
What would that look like? These
Okay,
things.
so these are line options. So when you are, I have what this line selected.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have this line at the side selected. So I'm going to use asphalt, for example. It just kind of gives the line some texture. You can see the same with the bubble.
Okay.
And then this blurs the line a little bit.
Yeah.
You
You
use print inker, random blot dot. That's really cute. I like the trim
uh
as well as the dash, dash dots, and dotted. And then we obviously,
probably the ones at top, the one that like blurs and stuff, you probably have to have the line bigger to see the texture of it, I would imagine.
yeah, we can make this a thicker one so that we can
Oh,
see the texture, and then now you have a lot more of that
yeah.
texture available.
Still kind of hard to see.
Okay,
No,
so
no, no, not you, but I mean, it's the way that it is.
yeah, so you can make it as thick as you want and then push the line out so that it's not on the page and visible.
Okay.
So let's do that. Okay, so now that's too much on the line, right? So let's go ahead and back it out a little and do 50. But I don't really like how much line I have here, so I'm gonna
Uh-uh.
back a little bit. So I have this centered and it's a little off of the page. So we're gonna push it back. Oh, maybe it doesn't want to push. It's not gonna push. It'll push to align with the page and that's it. But if as you can see, the pink line, it's off the page, it's gonna push it back to its original set. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so I'm gonna make this line 15 again, and then I'm just gonna go back to that solid line, and then I am going to do the same. So you can see these lines are evenly spaced now on the page. So they're the same size and sitting on the same space as the top and the bottom. All right, so I was actually gonna move on to the font changing. So I was gonna show you how to add font. So now what we're gonna do is go over to text and add your font. But there's so many different things that you can do to add a creative touch to your font itself. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these. Let's say I wanted to use a space for a headline, for example. Let's go ahead and look at, there's 21 different results to these, okay? And all of them are editable. So I'm just gonna use this for example. So remember when, oops, sorry guys, we're gonna delete that. Okay. Oh, you know what? I selected two of these. I'm gonna delete that. Okay. So remember when, and then now we don't have any text here. So we're gonna go back. I'm sorry, guys. Now we have the one setting. So this text is Source Sans Pro and it's in black, which means that it's a bold option. This is a good headline that you can use for multiple options for advertising your travel growth for your business. So just kind of putting this in the headline for a page. Now I can delete that one. This is, remember when travel was shut down with the world? And now we can enter in a media for that. So these are all pictures that you can show for a background, for example. So I don't like this texture, I'm going to delete it. I don't like this background color, I'm just going to make it white. Okay, but I do like this picture. Okay, but it's above the words that we just put in. So I'm going to pull this to the bottom, which puts it behind everything as a layer. And then now you can set as a background. Boom. Now we're going to move this. Okay, we're going to keep that there. We're going to move this here. Okay, but I don't like the spacing of this wording. So we're just going to pull it in and then make the whole box a little bigger. Did you see how I did that? I clicked on the words, which is a different box, and I made it smaller. Okay. And then I clicked outside of it, and then in the whole thing, which is a group, you see how it says ungroup? That's how you know the remember when and the line on the left is something different than the words because they're two different boxes. This is also different boxes. And this is just a simple line like we used here. It's a simple line, and then remember when is a shape. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create a shape. All right, so I don't like that text. We're going to add text. Okay, this is my favorite shape. Oops. You can't move it if it's got a cursor. It's just going to highlight the words to edit the words. So you have to click out of it until the purple lines are darker, and then you'll be able to move things around. But let's say you want to make this a different shape. Boom. Now you can add a background to it. So let's explore the generate text effects. Okay. So this is AI creation. So I'm just going to show you a ripple text matching the picture on the page. Okay. Now it's going to show me a ripple text. I think it's really cool because it generates as many results as you like so that you can see what shape you want to have your text for. So I like it to use on, larger options. You have to let it load. And then sometimes it makes it, repeat itself. So I'm just going to stick to the regular text. So I don't want this text, so we're just gonna remove effect. Awesome. So now we're back to the text, the font that we're using. And then you can also change the color of the font too, or the occupancy to make it less bold on the page or blend in more with the page. Kind of, you can see how it just kind of sits there on top of the picture, but it's not so brass on the page itself. That's because I changed it so that you can see through it slightly. But this is full occupancy, 100%. This is what text is supposed to look like, right? I want to pop this off the picture, off the page here. So I'm going to layer this on the page. If I have black text, I'm not going to put a black shadow to it. See, it just kind of drowns it out, right? So let's try a white text or a white shadow. This shadow effect makes that pop. But let's say I want to use something that's similar to the background and just kind of give it more of a shadow effect to blend in with the page itself. We can use this dropper to do that here. Look, it's popping the words off the page, but you can't really tell that there's anything there because it blends in with the picture. And that's a lot of the effect that I like to use because I want to make sure that my clients can see the words without having the distraction of something else behind it. So I'm going to change this back to white though, so you guys can see it. All right. So now that you have this white, I think I like it better back here. Now that you have this white shadow on the text, you can change it. Let's customize this. You can blur this so that it's less, that it's more blurry, less blurry, solid. Okay. You can change the angle of it. So let's do that. I'm gonna make it so that you can see it more predominantly, and then I'm gonna change this angle. So watch this white as I move this dial for angle. You see how it's actually shaping out to be like a sundial. That's because this moves the shadow around. Okay. This is looking like the same angle that we originally had at 138, but it's not. It's negative 158, which is on the opposite angle of where we were at. So I'm going to put you back. Whoops. I always do that. Push the wrong button. I'm going to put you back at 138. Okay, so now you can see the angle. Oh, it froze, guys. Hold on a second. There it goes. All right, we're gonna go back to the, so this is 138, the original angle, and then I'm gonna show you what negative 158 looks like. It moved it to the other side. You can also change the distance of it, so you can see it further away, close up, right on it, so that it's barely noticeable. This is kind of dizzying for me, but I have a traumatic brain injury, so that would be dizzying for me. But this might not be dizzying for other people. Just take into consideration the comfortability of people and disabilities they might have when it comes to text so that it doesn't make them dizzy. So I'm going to change this angle. I like it at 100. It's right there, even with the font, but I can still see it. However, I don't like the distance. Well, I didn't want that. There we go. I like it right here. You can see it. It is still popping the words off the page, but I don't like how harsh this is, so I'm going to blur it out a little. Boom. Now you have, you know, blurry, even shape shadowing for your text to be able to be seen off the page. And then when you're done and you're comfortable with it, blend it into the page or use the background color to pop it out, but blend it with the background of it. Even if you change the background color itself, you can still see that there is a little bit of that color still there. So even if you don't want the white background, you can always put it back. Boom. Any questions so far about that? All right, so now that we've experienced the shadow, absolutely, Stephanie, this is super cool. I thought it was really easy to use too. Like I just hopped onto it one day and was just playing around with it, and I kind of picked it up really quickly. So that's really awesome also how user-friendly this is. Oh, by the way, guys, you can also change the shape of your shadow. So I'm going to make this white one more time and show you this. You can change this to glow halo, hazy, strong, smooth, lift. This is typically how you lift words off the page, or none at all, right? So it'll default it back. So what we're gonna do now is talk about shapes. So there's different shapes that you can use to fill your background. Let's say, and you'll see this a lot on my flyers. I don't like to, I love to use very fun backgrounds, seasonally fun backgrounds as well. But sometimes I need to make my words very clear on the page, and I can't do that when with a shadow. So I'm gonna use these spacers, okay? But this space, it's not quite all the way on the words. And there's some of them are just right to the edge of it, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna click on the words and go back to the shape, and you can edit this by selecting what type of box you can use for it. This is really fun. These are really cool shapes. And then they have more. They have so many more. You know, fillers, quotes, things like that. We're going to use this for the example of training today, okay? Also, there's more of these too, so you can see, you know, different options that you can choose from, which are really fun. These are really fun options, but today we're going to be doing this. So let's go ahead and edit this. I don't like this yellow because it doesn't match the picture that's on the page. Okay. But for the training purposes, I am going to use the yellow. Okay. So now we have the shape size that we need to fix. Make that bigger like that. And then you can also change the occupancy of the square as well. But mind you, this square will take the font with it. If you notice, the lighter the box goes, the less you see your font. And the point of this shape is to pull the font off the page directly so that it is predominant on the page. So you'll be able to see how the shape of the box around each word is wider and doesn't quite hit the edge of the text that's available as well. So I'm going to delete this so that we can move this here. And then this is a subtitle. I love that. This way we can center this. Okay, so you just drag around. This is center square to the page specifically. And then we can change this picture here. So we're going to change it to, this is free. These are all the free pictures that are available. I like this. We're going to use this. And now what we can do is use this background color to edit that. And now we have the shape color where you can also use like a red. And now you have a fall centric page. Okay, but this doesn't have my branding logo on it, so I'm going to go back and get that from here. Go back to the page specifically and whoops, center that with 7. And then now you can play around with the line. Make sure that it's spaced evenly. Boom. And now you have, you know, on brand page options for your presentation. That's super cool. So let's say you have something like this where you have people. These pictures have backgrounds. They removed them. So we're gonna replace them. Replacing them is right on the remove background button, and you just click restore. You see how the background was restored here? Let's say you like it like that. We're gonna remove it. Boom. So it removes everything that's dominant in the background of the picture, and it keeps the majority of everything that's in the front of the picture itself. So let's click on Jason and restore. And we're just going to do that to all the pictures so that we can see how they're placed and what they looked like before all of the backgrounds were removed. Okay, so they layered these guys. So in order for this woman, Molly Thomas, for example, to be on the forefront of the pictures, she was moved to the top of the layers. And each layer, every time you add something, that's a layer, guys. So you add a bold text and then you add a different subtext, that's a layer. This is a layer to this layer. This is a layer to this layer. This is a layer to this layer. But these three pictures are down here at the bottom. So these layers are underneath these words, and that's okay. Let's see what happens when we move this picture underneath the word layers. Okay. Boom. Now her picture is still on top of everybody else's, but it's been moved underneath the texture of the page, which is okay. You can still have texture on the page and be able to, this is the texture, and then they just made it less visible. Okay, so the pictures still have the texture on top of it. But let's say you wanted to remove the texture from on top of the pictures, but keep it on the page. Just move the texture underneath the pictures and boom, now their pictures are nice and clear. So now what we're gonna do is remove the background for everybody. Now they have very clear, forward fronting, layered pictures on the page for who their team is. And you can still see the texture on the page and still have the page color. So let's do a background. I'm just going to do white again. I really like that it's a clean, crisp cut for a team picture. So we're going to go back to our...
I have a question, Caitlin. Is it Caitlin? Yeah?
Caitlin, yeah.
Okay, on this picture right here, Jason, see how it's getting reflection, that white reflection. Is there a way to clean that up in this program?
For the reflection, if it's in the picture,
Maybe that's next class.
to be honest with you, I think that's more of a Photoshop thing.
Yeah, I was thinking so too. Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is different than Photoshop. And I do have Photoshop Express, which is very similar to like a photo editing app on your mobile device. And I
Right.
have not been able to figure it out, to be honest. There's
Okay.
not really much that I can do with it.
Okay.
If you wanted to have this type of reflection removed from a picture like this, you'd probably have a better option going into the Procreate, the Cloud Create version of Photoshop and using that platform there.
Okay.
But this is just a picture that was given to us, and you can see he's most likely sitting in front of a window with that natural lighting reflecting into the room. So we're gonna see that reflection onto his clothing from the back. Okay, so that's not going to be removed when we remove a background because that's reflective right onto him specifically, and it wouldn't be something that could be removed. However, I have noticed that when I remove a background and there's text in the page, it can also remove the text. So guys, be careful when you're removing the background on something. If you want to remove the background, make sure that there's not a lot of layers that might be also grouped in with the background too. I see a lot of edited pictures online that I try to remove the background for, just kind of playing around. And the text, some of the features of the picture, like icons and stuff like that, that also gets removed too. So just be mindful of that when you're playing around with this kind of stuff too. But this is the page, and I'm just gonna leave it like this because this is really how I would set up something like this. And then of course you have your financials. So let's say your client is very analytical personality type and needed a breakdown of their finances. I provide a quote sheet that's itemized with how much the money costs, but let's say they need to see it on a graph, like they're an accountant or somebody who works in the financial department of like a really big corporation and understands graphs like that. That this would be a really good thing to provide to that client. So let's play around with this graph real quick. You can create individualized colors for this, guys. So I'm just going to use my brand colors. You're going to see this here on swatches. Go to your library. I'm Bon Viaggio bookings. So now I have my brand colors. So we're just going to click that. And I did create these colors for myself. Some of them are my favorite colors. Some of them are Italian, themed. But here are what you can see for brand colors and how easy it is to customize colors on a swatch very quickly. I absolutely love the purchase version of it because I can create that brand for easy editing purposes for exactly what you just saw. But it's not just the graph, guys, it's also words and text. So we're just gonna play around with this for a second. I highlighted specific words and now you can see they're highlighted underneath, they're highlighted underneath the text. Everything else is black. So I'm going to do the same thing. And then I'm going to change this font here. So I have, my suggested based on language in use, recent, and then these are my fonts here. So I'm going to change this to that specific font. I like that, but let's say I don't like it just for that specific thing. I'm going to go ahead and select it for everything. That's really hard to read, guys. I understand that's like a calligraphy. So let's go ahead and select backwards, and it just takes you back one. At the top, you have backwards, forward, backward, forward, and then invite collaborators, and then learn how, like, if let's say you have something that you want to do and learn about on the page, you click on this light bulb and it'll walk you through like a what is that called, a tutorial. There we go. And then you can make comments on this for yourself. Let's say you're working on this and you're like, oh, I gotta go to bed. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. And so you can make comments on a page for yourself. I don't normally do that. And then let's say this isn't working. I've had times where I've had to submit feedback saying this is not working. This font is not working. This page is just not editing. I can't change this, this, and this, or anything like that. And then you can also print and deliver from this page as well. And then you can download. So you have your download options. All pages are selected pages. So let's say we're going to do this selected page. Make sure you're not selecting anything to edit on this page. And then you select download. And then make sure you change it to a PNG file. Okay, because it wanted to save it to a PDF. Let's do a PNG file. Okay, and so you're going to download. Boom. Now I'm going to open up my picture here, and this is what it looks like. This is the big presentation picture that I will be assembling into a PowerPoint on Microsoft for my clients. You can also use Google. I believe it's let's see. Google Slides. Yeah, right here. Google Slides. But I prefer PowerPoint. And then you can also use this as a presentation like Canva. So there's a present option where you can use this as a presentation.
What is that font that you're using on the financial? Is that the same one as your cover title right now?
Oh, let's see. This one?
Yeah, what is that font?
Ivy Presto Display.
Ivy Presto display. That's nice.
Yeah.
It's really clean in that gold color. I like that a lot.
Let me get you this gold color here. This is my brand color gold. Let me send this to your chat. This is the hex scale number for the gold.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. And that way you can customize it.
Yeah, 138. How many pages have you found that are workable? Sometimes presentations or they can be too many, they can be not enough. You just find it varies from person to person, how large the cruise or the trip's going to be. What do you think?
So I definitely think it varies based on person to person,
Yep.
and trip to trip. So the person depends on the personality. So if you haven't taken Mike Archer's sales course, I highly recommend it. And this
What
concludes,
is it called?
hold on a second. This actually concludes I'm gonna stop sharing my screen because I'm actually done with like the exploratory of the basics of what we would be using for Adobe Express. So to answer your question, Rachel, if you have not taken Mike Archer's sales course in the back office, you're welcome, Stephanie. I do highly recommend it. It not only teaches you about yourself and the skills that you'll need for selling travel. You can sell anything after this course, to be honest with you. It also teaches you how to read your clients' personalities, and navigate through disagreements and arguments, and just kind of get to a resolution of the sales. I've had that happen in the past. So I was able to use those skills to kind of understand what I wanted to do for my clients. So I'm going to use the Hawaii trip, for example. Everything was really big. Okay. I had 2 islands, 2 properties. I had private transportation. I had 12 excursions. I had 4 flights. It was giant, right? That type of trip, it took me 50 slides to present to them because I had 3 properties on each island. So that was 6 properties. I had 6 quotes. I had all the excursions that they were looking at. I had all the flight options that they were looking at. And it was just a lot of information I needed to squeeze into a presentation. Whereas I have clients who are traveling today and they're going to Mexico, and I had 3 properties because they were going to an all-inclusive. They weren't doing like this big giant trip. It was just kind of something I could package in on Vax. And it included flights, airfare, transportation, and an excursion. And it was pretty small. And, that type of presentation, it only took 20 frames. So it just really depends on the personality of your client and the size of the trip itself. Each presentation that we're going to be creating I'm only doing one presentation. I'm going to be doing, you know, a mock booking to a destination in Jamaica for sandals. And I'm going to pick 3 of the resorts on the island, and I'm going to, you know, gather all the information with you guys and put it together on part 3. So you guys are going to see how I build everything as a mock booking so I can advertise it to the client, and also use it as an advertisement online. And I do use these frames to be able to post online. So you can also see the margins on these frames to be able to put inside a smaller section of the frame. So you have more of a border on the outside and be able to use the same picture to post online. Because the majority of them are you know, specific sizing for Facebook. And then now Instagram has horizontal pictures that you can post. So you can also use this on Instagram as well.
Super. Well, I really appreciate you spending the extra effort to explain some of those things. Thank you so much. When's your next one?
I have an part 2 is on the 2nd, right after New Year's. So
Okay.
this Thursday, and then part 3 will be next Thursday.
Okay, very well. Good. Well, Happy New Year to you and to Brandon. I think he's still on Ron. And I hope you have a safe new year and a really fun one. And I will go take a peek at that. I think I watched it already, but there was so much information going through the first time. Some of them I've looked at a couple times and gone, wow, I don't remember that. So it's a world of information. It's wonderful. They don't leave any stone unturned. It's great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Rachel. It's definitely my pleasure. And I hope you have a happy new year as well. Thank you so much for joining. And I see some comments here. Brandon said, I as well thank you and can't wait till the next one. I've learned a lot today. Happy New Year all. And Ron as well, thank you so much, guys, for joining. There's been a couple of other people that dropped out. So I just want to thank you guys so much for joining this training today. I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording and I'll be posting this later on today, okay?